Hello, I'm Matt Florence and I created Comrade Lenin's Dank meme stash and it got zucked today. And then it was back up, but now I've had to archive it. Now we're going to go through this. Earlier today, Comrade Lenin's Dank meme stash was falsely accused of hate speech by somebody who reported it. Whoever did report it then screen captured their report and then spread it around the internet bragging about it. So we know exactly why. We weren't given any reason why it was taken down. Facebook then, about an hour later, let it back up because they saw very clearly there was no hate speech in my group. Now, what is Comrade Lenin's Dank meme stash? It was a group that I organised for discussion of events, for memes, for current events, maybe talk about politics, talk about history, just whatever tickles your fancy. It is not just for communists, socialists and Marxists, despite the name. It's for pretty much everyone. We do draw the line, if someone's denying the Holocaust, of course we'll have to get rid of those. We do have a line to our debate, but largely, pretty much anybody is allowed into the group to talk, as long as they have honest questions and they can be civil and they can be reasoned with. And they're not just there to troll, of course. And so the reason why I've archived the group is because there was one admin, a man called Nazir, who I made into an admin, must have been about a year or 2 years ago. And what he has done is he was giving people admin rights when they weren't allowed and without my permission. And so I was about to remove him as admin, but I found that I couldn't because I had actually been banned from Facebook, Facebook mute, for 30 days. And it turns out I can't remove people. He took the opportunity to remove every single other admin and moderator in the entire group and pretty much take it over for himself and then use it to advertise his own group. So he was behaving very selfishly and this horrible petty behaviour just to advertise his own group and to get his own followers. And so I've archived the group and I'll be able to return everything back to normal in a couple of weeks, around beginning or mid-May. Okay, so everything's going to be back to normal. Comrade Lenin's Dank meme stash is fine. Now, there are also some other topics that we need to go through that I think people have been asking about. You cannot please everybody, especially in a group with 50,000 members. I have some stats here because when it comes to groups, Facebook actually gives you the stats. We have 4,000 comments average every single week. We have 41,000 active members, but 50,000 members overall. And we are a public group. We are a public group because it's the only way to get really noticed. Comrade Lenin's Dank meme stash is a trawlernet. Then you have people who don't agree with us, but are willing to listen. Then you have people who agree with us, but can't really join in activism. And then you have, the socialist activists right at the bottom. So it's public, so we can get as many people as possible. Comrade Lenin's Dank meme stash is a trawlernet. It is meant to advertise that these ideas are out there. It is not a debating society. It is not your university, it is not a university lecture. I think a lot of people who like the group are university students who seem to believe that it should be run in the manner of university, with citations at the ends of every post, and everybody is completely academic in all their language. It's just not going to happen. It's not what we're designed for. It's not built like that from the beginning. And people want to change it, but it's not going to happen. A lot of people were concerned about privacy because the group is in public. However, if you are posting your personal details on a public Facebook group, then you can't blame us for your own silly actions, okay? If you don't want to share your personal details on Facebook, then don't do it, okay? Don't share it on Facebook, full stop. Some people were telling us that we needed to be more ban-heavy. The other half of people were telling us that we were too strict. We cannot please everybody, especially in a group of 50,000 members. Keep that in mind, okay? I think a lot of people who are criticising us don't really understand how the group works, because they will say, I saw very transphobic posts, or I saw racist posts, I saw bigoted posts. But the thing is, if you saw those posts, just report it to the admins, okay? It takes you 5 seconds, top right corner, click on it, scroll down, report to admins, and I get a notification on my mobile, any time of the day, straight from you, telling me that it's there. So you don't have any right to complain about that kind of content in a group if you're not going to report it, because I don't know it's there, okay? We get 4,000 comments every single week. I cannot look through every single one of them, okay? And neither can the other admins. We will not see it unless you report it to the admins. So do not complain about these things happening if you don't know how Facebook works, okay? It almost seems as if, even though the majority of the group members are, uni students, sometimes they act like old men who don't know how to use email. It's quite embarrassing. And the last topic I'd like to go to was trans people, which it seems that we're getting a lot of flack from people who believe that the group is transphobic and racist, and just these horrible, nasty, fake accusations against us just spreading through Facebook with no basis to them whatsoever. We have admins of different opinions, and we have 50,000 people, all with their own mindset, their individual ideas, okay? We cannot please everybody, and so there is debate. Now, I'd like to give you an example from my own personal life. I didn't think that trans people were real until a few years ago, because I didn't have that introduction to them, okay? I only really took it seriously when a couple of friends of mine told me that they were transitioning from one gender to the other, because before that, I thought it was just something that was like a Little Britain joke almost, like it was just something that was on the internet that people didn't really take seriously. Like, and then, you know, I got to know them and I thought, oh, okay, this is real, this deserves my attention. And so that's the transition that I went through. I didn't take it seriously. Some friends of mine talked to me very frankly. I got a little bit more involved, I looked into it. Some very friendly people came up to me and, you know, taught me what they knew. And then I thought, oh, okay, trans people, this is quite interesting. We should, you know, do everything we can to fit them into society and respect them and not discriminate against them. There are still many people out there, though, who have no idea what things like turf and swerf mean. I didn't know that about a year ago. I cringe when I hear it because it's always followed by somebody who's just going to attack you. And so the group was flooded with American leftist activists who thought that we were bigots or racist or transphobic, which is not true, okay? We don't take seriously some of the really fringe stuff, like there's 4,000 billion genders or other rubbish, but no, we're not discriminatory towards trans people. It's actually in the group rules. If you bothered to look at the group rules before you joined, you would have seen that racism, sexism, transphobia, and every other form of bigotry is completely unacceptable. Okay. So there's really no reason to be complaining about that. And again, you cannot please everybody. 4,000 comments every single week, and I'm a full-time university student. I've got work to do. I can't look through every single comment, especially if people aren't willing to report it. So that's everything I have to say about the recent events of Comrade Lenin's Dank Meme Stash. We'll be up in a couple more weeks, and everything will be back to normal, old admins, and that's it. And we're very glad that people have been taking an interest, because we are the largest Marxist Facebook group on Facebook ever. I created it about 2 years ago. One of the reasons was I saw a lot of the other Facebook groups purporting to be run by Marxists and meme groups were actually run by anti-socialist trolls, by far-right trolls, who ran it under the guise of pretending to be socialist and then banning people for really, really ridiculous reasons in order to make Marxists look stupid. So one group actually that I used to be a member of had admins that would ban people for using the word stupid because apparently it was ableist. And then, you know, you can't use the word idiot, that's discriminatory against disabled people because people 300 years ago used it as a slur. Just real rubbish like that. And so I created my own group where people could speak more freely, where there is more discussion, where there's more openness, it's public, where people of many different ideologies can come together and see what it's about and see what the communists believe in. That is what Comrade Lenin's Dank Meme Stash is, and it will never change. Unless, of course, Facebook decides to zuck us permanently. So thank you, I'm Matt Florence, and I hope that you share this around Facebook because I can't get on it for a couple of weeks. So I'll see you around, and thank you everybody for your patience. I love Comrade Lenin's Dank Meme Stash. I think we've built a real community of people who want to be more open and more friendly atmosphere. It doesn't happen because you've got 50,000 people at each other's throats with all of our ideas, but I do think that we've created something special here, and so I hope it all goes for the best, and it will be back soon. So I will see you around.